Gopidana Balava Grivardhari Jaya Grivardhari. Gopidana Balava Grivardhari Jaya Grivardhari. Sodanandana Radhadanandaranjana Jaya Radhadanandaranjana. Sodanandana Radhadanandaranjana Jaya Radhadanandaranjana. Yamunatiravarachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yamunatiravarachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivadakacharya Asadhara Sadushi Sriman is of Angrage Lacy Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande and all glorious to the sound devotees, all glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Buddhaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vircharne Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskadyade Siddharne. Om Ajnana Tivarandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shiguro Shiyuta Padakamalam Shigrum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Sakans Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 8. The Lord slays the king of the demons. Text number 10. Dasyun Parasanna Vijitya Lumpato Manyanta Eka Swadita Disho Dasha Chitatmano Gyasya Samasya Dehinam Sado Swamoha Prabhava Kuta Pare Tasyun Parasanna Vijitya Lumpato Manyanta Eka Swadita Disho Dasha Chitatmano Gyasya Samasya Dehinam Sado Swamoha Prabhava Kutak Pare Chitatmano Gyasya Samasya Dehinam Sado Swamoha Prabhava Kutak Pare Tasyum Parasanna Vijitya Lumpato Manyanta Eka Swadita Disho Dasha Chitatmano Gyasya Samasya Dehinam Sado Swamoha Prabhava Kutak Pare. Ladies. Dasyun Parashana Vitatmato Manyanta Eka Swadita Disho Dasha Chitatmano Gyasya Samasya Dehinam Sado Swamoha Prabhava Kutak Pare Tasyun Parashana Vitatmalampato Manyante Ke Swadita Disho Dasha Idadmano gyasya samasya dehinam Sado samoha pravakutakpare Dasyun plunderers Pura in the beginning Shat 6 Na not Vijitya conquering Lumpataha stealing all one's possessions Manyate consider Eke some Swajita conquered Disha Dasha the 10 directions Jita Atmanaha one who has conquered the senses Gyasya learned Samasya equipoise Dehinam to all living entities Sado of such a saintly person Samoha Prabhava created by one's own illusion Kutaha where Pare enemies or opposing elements Purport translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. BhaktiVedanta_Swami16 Prabhupada. In former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies, as equipoise toward all living entities, for him there are no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. Let's repeat that one. In former times, there are many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. But the person is victorious over the 6 enemies as equipoised toward all living entities. For him there are no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. Purport. In this material world, everyone thinks that he has conquered his enemies, not understanding that his enemies are his uncontrolled mind and 5 senses. Manak Shasta Nindriyani Prakriti Stani Karshati. In this material world, everyone has become a servant of the senses. Originally, everyone is a servant of Krishna. But in ignorance, one forgets this, and thus one is engaged in the service of Maya through lusty desires, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and jealousy. Everyone is actually dependent on the reactions of material laws, but still one thinks himself independent and thinks that he has conquered all directions. In conclusion, one who thinks that he has many enemies is an ignorant man, whereas one who is in Krishna consciousness knows that there are no enemies but those within oneself, the uncontrolled mind and senses. Translation. In former times there were many fools like you, do not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies, as equipoised toward all living entities, for him there are no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate BhaktiVedanta Swami 16 April Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskadyade Siddharna. Here the word enemy is used not because someone is friendly towards us or unfriendly. Generally we think our enemies are unfriendly towards us. And therefore one may wonder, what is this verse talking about? There are so many people who are unfriendly towards me. They must be my enemies. But actually, in one sense, they may be our friends. And on the other side, people who are seemingly friendly towards us may be our enemies, according to this definition. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has repeatedly gone over this particular aspect of the philosophy again and again from different angles. For instance, in the 6th chapter, Krishna says, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma, Kutastha Vijitendriya, Yukti Chite Yogi, Samaralostrasma Kanchana. Person is said to be considered to be in knowledge, both theoretically and experienced knowledge, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma, when one is satisfied, Tripta, Atma, when the soul becomes satisfied. This is reflected again and again in the Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. Prasanatma, prasanta means satisfied. Atma, the satisfied soul. So why is the soul not satisfied? Because he's cultivating dissatisfaction. And what is that dissatisfaction? Nishoshiti Nakangshiti. Everyone is looking forward for a better future and lamenting that it never is a better future. It's always the same thing over again. But under the spell of illusion, and the soul voluntarily is choosing illusion, it's not that illusion is bad. No, the soul is choosing illusion. He's choosing to hanker about a better future. That right now we're in class and life will be so much better after class when it's time for prasadam. So although my senses are roaring to go somehow or another because I'm a good person, therefore I'm restraining them just to show the world how good I am. But actually I agree with them. I'd rather be in the prasadam room than here. Therefore, that hankering is dissatisfaction. We're accepting it. Yes, what my senses are saying are true. It's so much nicer to be taking prasadam than listening to the Bhagavatam class. My tongue is so much more happy. When my tongue is happy, I'm happy. And not only that, when my tongue becomes happy, generally my stomach becomes happy. And that's even double happiness. And then everyone looks beautiful to me. I fall in love with everyone. And if anyone says anything different, I become angry at them. You just don't understand me. You have no appreciation for my finer qualities and my finer sentiments. And this way, material illusion, we're adjusted to it. Matter of fact, we're uncomfortable if we're not an illusion. We feel like life is boring if I don't have an illusion. What am I going to do? We look for some material stimulation. When there's nothing to do, finally we did all our duties. Do we turn to the Bhagavatam to discover something about Krishna, or do we go on the internet to find out something new and exciting? Something more interesting than the same old Bhagavatam. Therefore, the soul, when he's addicted to hankering, and sometimes we're not even aware of the fact. The first lecture I heard Prabhupada give personally, that's what he said, the first thing. He said, there are only two things we do in the material world. Either we're hankering for what we don't have, or we're lamenting about what we lost. That's the only activity of material existence. And If we're not doing that, we must be Krishna conscious. And if we're not Krishna conscious, that's all we must be doing. And Shochiti, of course, this has different varieties of experience, of manifestation, lamentation. Oh, if I can only go back in my time machine and take my spelling test again, I could have gotten 100, then everything would have been perfect in my life. Try to reconstruct the past as if that would have made the present any better than it is now. Or that we can control the future, then we can make perfect arrangements so that life will be perfect. But Krishna says even the person who's done that over 100 lifetimes of perfectly following the Vana and Ashram, Lord Brahma, he's not perfectly happy either. He still has some degree of hankering and lamentation. What does it mean to conquer over this hankering and lamentation? This urges of the senses and the mind. The only way of doing it is Titatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita shitoshna sukadukeshu tatamana pamanayo. For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached. He has attained tranquility. For such a person, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor, all the same. So our process is to become Krishna conscious. To actually become aware of Krishna. If we become aware of Krishna, everything else seems tuchavat, insignificant. The conclusion is if we have any lack of happiness, if we're still hankering, lamenting, it just means we haven't become serious enough about Krishna consciousness. And the solution is not to lament that I'm not Krishna conscious, it just becomes serious about Krishna consciousness. Maya's main trick is lamentation in the mode of ignorance. We think, I'm not happy. I must have done something wrong. I've done so many things wrong. And then we just dwell upon everything we're doing wrong, and we don't do the right thing. And then we say, well, I'm going to do the right thing. Maya says, don't even bother. You've tried so many times. You're just wasting your time. You're going to get tricked again, you know. Just be happy in illusion. Try to become happy in illusion. Just give up. Surrender. You keep on hearing that word surrender. Surrender. Just become a better animal, that's all. Give up this trying to control your mind and senses. It never works. It can't be done. You've tried it so many times. No sense. And then hankering. All right, now you've surrendered to Maya, and I have so many opportunities for you to make your life better, specifically in eating, sleeping, mating, defending. There's so many recipes I have for your eating. I can make your bed in such a way as you'll sleep better tonight. And sex, well, somehow or another, mentally, physically, whatever, verbally, whatever. The whole world is based upon this lording it over. Sex is not just the gross physical act of sex. It's also the act of trying to control other living entities and lord it over them. Because after all, to get the energy even for gross physical sex, you have to conquer over the carrot. The carrot has to surrender to you. The cauliflower has to surrender. It has to enter into you and empower you to lord it over other living entities, to create the fictitious romance in your life, where you're a two-handed Narayan, and you finally meet the goddess of fortune, and you have your Vaikuntha palace, and your expansions, and your Garuda, and etc., etc. That's simply make the perfect arrangement in the material world, and then you'll become completely satisfied. So this hankering, lamentation, that's the whole material existence. But to fix the mind upon Krishna, that's relatively easy, especially by chanting Hare Krishna. The only thing that stops us from doing it is that we don't believe in it. We think, why should I waste my time spending so much mental energy just calling out to Srimati Radharani and Krishna? It won't work. Maya says it won't work. And if we just forget about that, don't believe in Maya and actually do it, we find out immediately it works. Similarly, we have to pass the barrier of belief, faith, and faithlessness. Of course, if we're constantly trying to lord it over the material nature, if that's our whole existence, and we actually believe within ourselves that I am the Lord of what I have, or to the extent that I actually believe that, and to the extent that I want to believe it, that I don't want to give it up, I won't give it up. As Prabhupada said, it's very easy to wake up someone who's asleep, but if someone who's awake but they're pretending to be asleep, it's extremely difficult to wake them up. So when we find out that Krishna is the proprietor of everything, and therefore I should, whatever I pick up, whatever I do, I should consider what Krishna wants me to do with this. If I don't really want to accept that, then once in a while when during class I'm remembering it. For the rest of the day I'm free to do whatever I think I want to do, whatever my mind and senses dictate to me. But I'm chanting my 16 rounds somehow or another, following at least some of the principles, and therefore Krishna will to protect me. I can live my imaginary life in this material world and with all the blessings of this holy name. No, we have to accept within our heart that actually everything does belong to Krishna. It may not happen all at once, but at least it's the basis of progress. Because after all, if everything is belonging to Krishna, then what do I have to hanker for? The only thing I have to hanker for will be Krishna's property, which makes me a thief. And if I'm lamenting I couldn't steal from Krishna, well, that's just reality. No one can steal from Krishna because Krishna eternally owns everything. All I can do is be in the illusion I can steal from Krishna or lament that I couldn't steal from Krishna. I wanted to take Krishna's position, become God. That's hankering. And I couldn't do it. That's lamentation. Ichcha dvesha samutena dvandva mohasya bharata sarabhutani samoham sargayanti paramba. Every living entity is born in this delusion, overcome by desire and hate. It's not that someone is good in the material world because they're hankering and lamenting less than someone else, and someone else is bad because they're hankering and lamenting more. Because they're all bad ultimately. Whether one is stealing a cucumber or is stealing a diamond. I forget the Sanskrit. Chira, I forget which is which. One is chira, means a cucumber, and the other is chira, which is a diamond. So when one is stealing a cucumber or a diamond, one is still a thief. So we may be good thieves. We may be honest thieves. We follow the laws of Krishna as he gives in the Vedas, or we follow the laws of the state. So therefore I'm an honest thief. I only steal what I'm allowed to. On the other hand, if we actually accept everything is Krishna's property, even for a moment, then there is an opportunity for making progress. And if we accept that, then we can actually inquire, what does Krishna want me to do with his property? That puts us into the position of a servant. And that's our whole business, is to develop a service attitude. Whatever situation we're under, to develop a service attitude. That will free us from illusion, the service attitude. Then how do we find out what Krishna says? We can read Bhagavad Gita. Krishna keeps on telling us what he wants us to do. He doesn't make it a secret. It's not that it is so esoteric that only after studying the Bhagavad Gita for 5 million lifetimes will we understand what Krishna wants. Now Krishna says, Patram pushpam balam toyam yo me bhakta priyachati taraham bhakti uparitam ashnami priyatatmanaha. Offer me with love and devotion a leaf, some fruit, a flower, some water, and I'll accept it. Krishna wants our love, and our love means whatever we have to actually try to utilize it in Krishna's service. In this age it means to help ourselves become conscious of Krishna. That's the first part of Krishna's service, to do what's helpful for our progression in Krishna consciousness, to avoid those things which will take our mind away from Krishna. To develop faith, put ourselves in a situation where we'll have to accept Krishna's mercy, that He'll protect us, He'll maintain us, try to make less arrangements for our own personal maintenance and protection. And to have Krishna's interest. Eventually, by doing that, we'll have the same interest of Krishna. And what is Krishna's interest? Yari deka tarikaha Krishna upadesh amar agai guruhana taridesh. Whoever we meet, we try to help them become conscious of Krishna. That's Krishna's interest. As He wants us to become conscious of Him, He wants others to become conscious of Him also. And His service means to help Him, assist Him in that mission, His mission, to help others become conscious of Him. Then when we do that, gradually we'll develop real, as we become actually conscious of Krishna. We'll see how wonderful Krishna is, how wonderful everything factually is, and we'll become humble and more dependent on Krishna. More and more dependent upon Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita and that of His representatives. And what will be the attitude? Prabhupada writes, Matparha, one will have no goal in life except save and accept, to act in Krishna consciousness just to satisfy Krishna. That even for one moment, if we have that attitude, I'm simply doing this just to please Krishna. That moment means that we're making progress towards perfection. And when we're acting in such a way, one should think of Krishna only. So we're the movement for becoming conscious of Krishna. So we should think of Krishna only, that He's appointed me to discharge this particular duty. Now, if we don't know whether Krishna wants us to do it or not, better to take a few steps back and find out. If we're not convinced, Krishna appointed me to discharge His duty through His representatives or through His instructions, then we should take a few steps back and find out, what does Krishna want me to do? And if we do it nicely, we actually do our activities to please Krishna, and we know this is what Krishna wants us to do. What will be our reward? The reward will naturally think about Krishna. So we may get the adoration of so many devotees, of the public. We may get so many different results: fame, adoration, profit, distinction. But unless we get Krishna, then our activity is a failure from the spiritual point of view. If we're doing something, we're not remembering Krishna on that basis, and we're not following the formula to remember Krishna in devotion, then our activity ultimately is a failure. No matter how many people tell us how great we are, no matter how much they help us become absorbed in illusion, it's still a failure. On the other hand, if one is doing a simple service and the result is one remembers Krishna, then that activity is a complete success. And then Prabhupada writes, on the other hand, if one does something without following the formula, and then at the end he gets a result, he doesn't like, and then he offers it to Krishna, that's called whimsical. In the sense that we don't follow the formula, we don't get the result, we get some result, we don't like the result, so we offer it to Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada said that order of Krishna comes in disciple succession from the bona fide spiritual master, and therefore the bona fide spiritual master's order should be taken as one's prime direction of life. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his instruction, then the success of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. In other words, the bona fide spiritual master doesn't only mean diksha, of course it means shiksha. There's so many bona fide spiritual masters. It's not that only my diksha guru is a bona fide spiritual master and everyone else is second class. No, there are so many bona fide spiritual masters. They may not even be a diksha guru, they may not be recognized, but if they repeat the words of Krishna coming to disciple succession from the acharyas, and they're actually in line with the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they actually have, best if they have some desire to help me become Krishna conscious, and they actually have some experience, personal experience, how they themselves have progressed towards a certain level of Krishna consciousness. Their instructions are coming as they're bona fide spiritual masters. Their instructions are bona fide. And if we take up such instructions and act according to it, then we'll become Krishna conscious. That is what we're here for. On the other hand, we have many enemies here, as it says here: lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, madness. Therefore Krishna says, Mat Chita Sarva Durgani, Mat Prasadam Tarishasi, Atachetvam Ahankaram, Nishoshiti Vinamshasi. If you, Mat Chita Sarva Durgani, Mat Chita, if you actually become conscious of me. And for us, of course, that means to different degrees. It's not that we're going to wake up today and be in Vrindavan dancing with Krishna. It's going to be it's a gross, slow, gradual process. But if we become a little conscious of Krishna, then gradually we'll pass over the obstacles of conditioned life. As mentioned here, the obstacles are not high hurdles. It's not even, I didn't get exactly the prasadam I wanted. It's our tendency to wanting to serve lust, anger, greed, being whimsical. Prabhupada calls it whimsical. Yakshastra vidim itsricha vartate kama karata. He translates that kama karata, working according to kam, or lust, anger. He just says it's whimsical. Just giving up Krishna, just whimsically. Yes, I'm going to enjoy a little and then I'll come back to Krishna consciousness again. These are obstacles of conditioned life. If you become conscious of me, then you'll pass over all the obstacles of conditional life by my grace. If, however, you don't work, if you work not hearing from me, in other words, hearing is not during the Bhagavatam class alone. We're supposed to be hearing the whole day. We should become conscious the whole day, or at least a little part of the day. We should honor that part of the day where we remember some of the instructions. If we're engaged in activities of devotional service, it's much more likely. If we're actually, especially if we're put in a situation where we're either trying to improve our service, it's not just done mechanically, we're actually trying to improve it, or we're put into a situation like where we're facing the public and we have to impress them. We have to meet the challenges of distributing Krishna consciousness to others. Impress them in the sense that we have to impress Krishna consciousness upon them. Then we have to rely upon Krishna. We have to rely upon his instructions. So we dig into our memory, we pray to give us some instruction, some vision, some understanding, some Shakti to meet the challenges. And Krishna reciprocates. That's how we develop faith in Krishna, that when we're actually praying towards Krishna, we're relying upon him. We put ourselves in a situation where we're dependent upon him, yet lo and behold, he comes through. Not that he sends us a message, sorry I'm out to lunch, pray next week. No, when we put ourselves in those circumstances and Krishna comes through and helps us make progress in devotional service, then we become more and more convinced that Krishna is there to help us when we need him. And he's there all the time. But if we don't listen, we're not listening, we're not hearing from Krishna and his representatives, then we must be hearing from Maya. Repeating the songs we heard from long ago, or what our mother told us, or what our teacher told us at school, whatever. And Nishoshiti Vinangshasi. Then Ahankara Matchita Sarva Dorgani Mat Prasada Tarishasi Tatatvam Ahankaram Nishoshasi Vinangshasi. Then you won't listen and you'll be lost. Not lost from the, we can't find our way to the prasadam room. That's not what Krishna means by lost. We may have been found ourselves, finally I found myself, how wonderful I am. That's not what Krishna means. Lost means you'll be lost to our real self, the soul. We won't be working for our real self-interest. We'll be working for our ahankara, our false conception of what our interest is. And indeed, Krishna, so many people have gotten what they wanted in the material world, at least temporarily. And we can also get temporarily what our false ego is telling us that we need. But we won't get Krishna. Therefore, Krishna says, Yadahankara ashritya, Yadahankara ashritya, Yadahankara ashritya niyokshasini. Actually, I just forgot that. Yadahankara ashritya, something. Right now you're acting according to your false ego and not listening to me, but you're going to have to act all the same. So we may do the same activity, but we'll do it in the conception that I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, I am here to make progress towards my goals. We'll be working on that, and we won't actually get the benefit of Krishna consciousness. Yadahankrita ashritya niyoksha iti manyase mityaisha vyavasaivaste prakritis tvam niyokshati. Right now you're acting according to your own hankara, and therefore you're going to have to act all the same. Ishvara sarabhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati brahmanan sarabhutani yantarudani maya. The Supreme Lord is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated on a machine made of material energy. So Krishna is directing all of us all the time. We've never had our first relationship eternally is always with Krishna. It's not that someone here or someone outside of here or someone in some universe doesn't have a relation with Krishna. Everyone eternally has a relation with Krishna. This is a question of what we're asking from Krishna. Asking for his service or asking for illusion. That's the only thing, that's our choice. We have no other choice. Therefore, Krishna's advice is Tam eva sharanam gacha sarabhavena bharata tat prasada param shantim stanam prapsi shasvatam. Surrender unto him in all respects, O Arjuna, because by his grace you'll attain transcendental peace and the eternal abode. Krishna speaking in the Bhagavad Gita, give us transcendental peace and an opportunity to go back to the transcendental abode. But we have to listen to him, and we have to follow him. And if we don't do that, we'll get something else. It's a very easy choice we have to make. And there's no bar to it. It's not that we're in Maya since time immemorial, and therefore we're disqualified now from becoming Krishna conscious. No, at any moment we can make that decision to become Krishna conscious, and Krishna will honor that decision and help us and encourage us. And if we don't believe it, we'll have to be here for a long time until we do believe it. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions, comments?
actually heavy statement is vinashyati. If I get it right, nash means also destroy practically, and V makes it very, very powerful.
Yeah, we've been.
Lost in sense, but really like because the nash often in context means destroyed.
Yeah, the worst thing that could have happened to us has already happened to us. The fact that we've been separated from Krishna, there's nothing worse than that. Everything else that we think we're making some gain in the material world, it's just illusion. As soon as we start thinking, I'm doing pretty good, then we're really in difficulty. Because then we're not relying upon Krishna. We're not realizing that there is nothing good in the material world. The only thing good in the material world is an opportunity to serve Krishna. And that's, even if it's very good, we can utilize the good to serve Krishna. And if it's very bad, we can utilize the bad to serve Krishna. So that's what's good, everything to serve Krishna. Everything else is very bad. And as a matter of fact, the more we think it's good, the less likely it is we'll take to serve Krishna. As Prabhupada said, the very rich people who are successful, famous, they don't come to the Bhagavatam class. So they're successful and famous. What do they need the Bhagavatam for? They got what they need. Only the persons who are usually suffering in the material world, they become a little interested in Krishna consciousness. They actually start asking, is there some alternative?
Now, this verse is one of those verses which point more to us than to our surrounding, so-called friends and enemies. But if we apply it, my assumption is that we should apply it to ourselves, but particularly for devotees who are managing or for people who are in leadership and management positions, seems that they have to also consider the other element, because if somebody comes and complains, oh, this is going on, that is going on, points to other people, you can say, well, your own enemy is your own mind, you control your
That's why I said the definition of enemy is not, this is the enemy for the soul. But Prabhupada said, not that we see everyone, when we say we see everyone equally, therefore the person who comes and steals Krishna's, takes away the donation box, he's the same as the person who puts the money in the box. We see everyone equally. No, Prabhupada said even Krishna discriminates. He says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinishaya tudiskritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavam yuge yuge. Krishna comes and he kills the demons. He doesn't say, well, I keep on killing demons, why don't I kill a few of my devotees too? Become a little bit more equal.
Otherwise, on level of the soul, we see everybody as soul and appreciate everybody equal. But then on the level of more pragmatic level, we also...
Yeah, Krishna, he kills the demons because that's what they're supposed to be done. They're supposed to be killed. That's good for them if they're killed by Krishna. And he protects his devotees because that's what you're supposed to do. Therefore, the Kshatriyas, they're supposed to follow Krishna's instructions because that's good for the people that are disciplining. Otherwise, you don't discipline anyone, they'll get spoiled. Therefore, some people are appointed to be the disciplinarians. Generally, that's the people who are the managers, the Kshatriyas, whatever else. And the Brahman's supposed to give the intelligence how to do it properly. They may not personally do it, but they're supposed to give the intelligence. They're not supposed to say, oh, don't discipline anyone. Everyone is good, everyone is ultimately good, you're bad if you discipline anyone. No, then they're not Brahmins, they're fools. They're Shudras. They have no knowledge.
And considering all of this, it seems to me quite an accomplishment because I find myself and majority of devotees mixing up these things often and applying the principle of equality in a wrong place or discriminating in wrong area as well. So apparently the realization of distinction between the self, the soul and the body is quite
It's not. Monam jamanamante jnanamam bravadyante. Manushanam sahasreshu kaschidya siddhaya. It's not. We're working on that basis. Therefore, we know that if we know we're an illusion, therefore we just try harder to find out what Krishna wants, and that helps us make progress. So it's Krishna consciousness. The problem comes when we think we actually are not an illusion, and we actually know what's going on, and therefore we make decisions and do things without much consideration. But when realizing the fact that we know very little, and that we're also an illusion, which means that we know less than nothing, therefore we have to be very considerate and thoughtful before we do something, especially of importance. For that reason, for instance, even when we sit down and take prasadam, which should be relatively, we can say a no-brainer, we say prayers, because it's not a no-brainer. We have to become thoughtful, even especially when we're eating prasadam, that we honor prasadam. What to speak of everything else, every other moment in our lives. It's an opportunity to either make progress in Krishna service by being thoughtful, or to practice being illusion and strengthen our bonds for the different modes of nature we're situated under. Anything else? Yes.
I was reading somewhere and they said that if one is in a relationship with Krishna, or if one is in a particular mood with Krishna, and he offends the devotees, his or her mood comes to a lower level. So my question is, in relation to that, what is the meaning of we have a relationship with Krishna, or a fixed relationship?
I think you're mixing things up there. I don't know, maybe you got it from the Nectar of Devotion about the different shadow attachment and para attachment. But once we get situated in an actual relation with Krishna, once we wake up again and find out what our rasa is, that's eternal. One doesn't offend the devotees. But when we're trying to perform devotional service, sometimes we make offenses. In fact, it would be pretty rare if we don't make some kind of offenses, because we're in ignorance. Therefore, we have to constantly pray to avoid making offenses, constantly cultivate Krishna consciousness so we become more expert in our relationships with others, so that we become more and more an instrument for Krishna. Other than that, anyone can see during the day, we go from sometimes elation to depression in a very short period of time. It doesn't take much. And that's usually due to either obvious offenses or subtle material attachments due to offenses. So we have to guard against these things by try to watch ourselves being engaged in Krishna service. Try to make a plan, sit down before the day starts, write down what we're going to do, and then try to accomplish it. And then we'll be much more likely to keep ourselves on track. But if we just go from activity to activity, then sometimes we may wind up doing the wrong activities. Anything else? Yes.
Yes, sometimes I'm disturbed when the other don't come from Angola and come back late.
You're disturbed when what comes back late?
Yes, come back late.
You come back late. What was that?
I don't know how to complete, but how to do when how to deal with that when the other go to the bed very late and don't come from Angola team. How to deal with that? And devotee don't come from Angola.
Oh well, I'm not quite sure what the question is. Do you understand, Mother Deborah?
How to deal, how to
She is disturbed about the fact that devotees are not coming
Well, why do you care? At least you should be at Mangalarti. Krishna comes every day. He's not disturbed. Prabhupada's not disturbed. They're all very happy. Did you ever see?
No,
Go.
no, I'm not in that. Say, how bad to say at new person who don't take the process to follow what they have to do for Krishna and to have the enthusiasm for follow the sadhana.
What do you tell a new person?
Yes, how to do it. Me, I'm new, just 4 years in the movement, and now in the ashram with other person who come and have to take the rhythm, the dynamic, and
Well, just be happy yourself. Be happy. If you're happy, then the person will follow you. If you're happy to come, have the opportunity to come to Mangalarti and see the deities and chant Hare Krishna, worship Krishna's representatives. If you're happy doing that, then other people will be happy to do it too.
and when I'm awake during the night, stay happy and chant.
Yeah, I mean, we should be happy.
Or
Haridas Thakur.
Is it disturbing to say something new devotee?
Well, if you're awake at night, the best thing to do is chant Hare Krishna. What else is there to do? Yeah, this is another opportunity to serve Krishna. Anything else? Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande.